Hi, my name is Priscilla, and this is my Draw My Life. I am a protein. Despite vicious stereotypes, I do more than just build muscle. For example, I can send signals such as hormones, or I can receive signals. I can be a structural protein which helps form muscle fibers, hair, skin, and claws. Though I doubt you personally have claws, I also can be an enzyme and speed up chemical reactions. A cell has 3 tasks: form proteins, create energy, and make more cells. I help make sure every task gets done. I'll show you. Let's start at the control center of the cell, the nucleus. The nucleus has a nuclear envelope consisting of a porous double membrane. Inside is DNA and the nucleolus. DNA can be used to produce mRNA in the nucleus. The nucleolus is a ribosome factory. A ribosome consists of 2 subunits, a smaller and a larger. The nucleolus creates ribosomes from rRNA and proteins and passes these through the nuclear pores. It's weird that one needs protein to create protein. Anyway, to create protein, DNA produces mRNA that is passed through a nuclear pore to a ribosome. There are 2 types of ribosomes. Both types of ribosomes synthesize proteins. The only difference is location. Free ribosomes exist in cytoplasm. Bound ribosomes exist on endoplasmic reticulum. Let's talk about free ribosomes first. Cytoplasm is a jelly-like material that holds organelles in place. Free ribosomes create proteins that will function in the cytoplasm. Bound ribosomes are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum and synthesize proteins for export or for membranes. However, there are 2 types of endoplasmic reticulum: rough endoplasmic reticulum or smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum synthesizes lipids like oils, phospholipids, steroids, and sex hormones. It also hydrolyzes glycogen into glucose and detoxes drugs and poisons. It also is responsible for building membranes through phospholipid synthesis and endoplasmic reticulum expansion. Rough endoplasmic reticulum produces proteins for export. It contains protein-secreting cells, aka ribosomes, and packages proteins into transport vesicles. So far, we know how cells begin protein synthesis. The nucleus creates ribosomes and DNA. Bound ribosomes exist in endoplasmic reticulum, which is a membrane connected to the nuclear envelope and extends throughout the whole cell. The next question is, what happens after the endoplasmic reticulum? After the proteins have passed through the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have been packaged into transport vesicles that are received by the Golgi body. Golgi bodies are the final processing step of the protein synthesis process. Golgi bodies are similar to the UPS of the cell. The Golgi body receives the vesicles, finishes the process, sorts, tags, and then ships cell products in vesicles. Remember, vesicles are membrane sacs. Okay, the process starts at the nucleus where DNA produces mRNA and the nucleolus creates ribosomes that leave through nuclear pores. Ribosomes receive mRNA from the nucleus and synthesize proteins. In bound ribosomes, the endoplasmic reticulum packages the proteins into transport vesicles. Finally, the Golgi body finishes, sorts, tags, and ships proteins to where they need to go. What happens next? So that's just how I came to be. But I said I'd show you how I'm useful. I also help to create energy. We're going to do this twice. To make energy, one must first have food that is then taken into the cell, broken down by a lysosome. It is necessary for it to be broken down so that the mitochondria can use it to create energy. Don't worry, I'm going to break the process down further like a digestive enzyme. First, food enters the cell through the cell membrane. Through the same process where the food entered the cell, phagocytosis, a food vacuole will form. Lysosomes are present in the cell. A lysosome is a vesicle of digestive enzymes. Remember, an enzyme is a kind of protein. Connection. Bing! Lysosomes have two main functions. They digest macromolecules, aka the stomach of the cell, and two, they clean up the cell by picking up the broken organelles. Lysosomes fuse with food vacuoles to create nutrients for the cell. Peroxisomes are another type of digestive enzyme sac which breaks down fatty acids into sugars. It also helps to detox the cell. Okay, back to energy production. Lysosomes, as I mentioned, fuse with food vacuoles and break down macromolecules such as polymers into monomers. This also helps release nutrients into the cytoplasm for the cell to use. The mitochondria takes in glucose and oxygen to create energy for the cell. This process is known as cellular respiration and explains how cells get energy. It's also aided by some enzymes, aka proteins. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Because this is an animal cell and not a plant cell, the mitochondria is the only energy-producing organelle. It consists of two membranes, an outer and an inner cristae. Between the two membranes is fluid. The inside contains DNA, ribosomes, and enzymes. In the presence of O2, the mitochondria generates ATP from the breakdown of sugar, fats, and other fuels. This more well-known formula is glucose plus oxygen produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. We're not done yet. Cells also have to create more cells. What do proteins do here? First, let's describe the structure of the cell. Okay, I have a riddle for you. What allowed food in with energy creation and keeps waste out? The cell membrane. The cell membrane is made of a double layer of fat, a phospholipid bilayer, and receptor molecules, proteins that receive signals. Like a door, cell membranes separate the cell from the outside world and controls what can enter or leave the cell. This is controlled by passive and active transport. This also allows communication between cells. If you didn't notice, the proteins in the cell membrane receive signals. The cytoskeleton provides structural support. It consists of protein fibers like microfilaments, intermediate filaments, and microtubules. Both cytoplasm and cytoskeleton maintain the shape of a cell. They also provide anchorage for organelles. Cytoskeletons also aid in cell locomotion in cases like cilia, which are little hairs around the cell, and flagella, which is like a little tail. The cytoskeleton helps organize the structure and activities of a cell. A cytoskeleton is made out of protein. So far in our cell, we have our cell membrane, the nucleus, which contains the DNA and the nucleolus, the endoplasmic reticulum, which surrounds the nucleus entirely and goes throughout the whole cell, ribosomes that exist not only in rough endoplasmic reticulum but also in the cell alone, and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria throughout the cell for energy, the Golgi apparatus for proteins, lysosomes, food vacuoles, other vesicles, and all of it is supported by protein. However, what if the cell gets too large? We still haven't addressed the idea of cell reproduction. Cells reproduce through mitosis. Mitosis, or cell division, is aided by centrioles. In animal cells, a pair of centrioles in the cell organize microtubules, a protein fiber, and guides chromosomes. So, eukaryotic being, an animal to be precise, since plants don't watch videos, that's my story. Proteins are responsible for everything that cells do, and since cells make up tissues, which make up organs, which make up organ systems, which make up organisms, like yourself, maybe this is your Draw My Life as well. This is Priscilla saying bye. Thanks for watching. My drawing wasn't that bad, huh?